This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing you a brand new company and a brand new CEO. They are in the lithium space. We're talking about Lithium Corp, trade on the OTCQB, ticker symbol BRGRF. And with us today is the CEO of that company. He's going to tell us what's been going on behind the scenes, is Jeremy Poirier. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You know, there's been a lot of talk of cryptocurrency, been a lot of talk about marijuana, but really the things that's really happening is in the lithium side. Quadruple prices over the last couple of years. Can you discuss the demand of lithium, why the prices have quadrupled over the last few years? That seems like to be the hottest item out there and undiscovered. I don't think people realize the prices of lithium and what's going on.
Well, there's a couple of different reasons for that. The obvious demand increases come from batteries. We've seen an increased demand in a lot of the normal battery spaces, such as power tools and cell phones, laptops, and that's still growing every day. But where we've seen the big demand drivers has been electric vehicles, and then obviously the other one would be grid storage. And then the second reason is because currently there's only about 4 companies in the world that produce the lithium. I mean, there's some smaller scale production, but the majority of the production is from 4 major companies. So it's somewhat of an oligopoly situation. It's, the margin at which they're producing the product and selling it for is larger than in the majority of other mining sectors. So you couple that with the increased demand, the oligopoly, and the fact that it's very difficult to put these mines into production. That's the main reason we've seen a pretty substantial price increase.
One of the feasibility studies that I read about 4 or 5 months ago in China, 1.3 billion people there, is that they're hoping that by 2025, that 70% of the cars that are going to be on the road in China are going to be electric. And that's a lot of lithium.
Well, what's interesting about that is, and you're correct, is that, we see a lot of the headlines here with Tesla and everyone's really excited about what Elon Musk has done with his company and the Gigafactory in Nevada. But really in North America, we haven't seen a wide adoption as of yet. I think we will see that with all the major car companies announcing, that they're coming out with fleets of electric cars. But you're right, it's very much a China story. BYD is the biggest electric car company in the world. Warren Buffett has a significant shareholding in that company, and as it's been well publicized, pollution is a big problem in China. You can't see. Right. They have days where they have to close school because of the air. I think 2/3, I believe it came out in a study of their land is actually contaminated. So pollution's a major problem there, and the Chinese government's cracking down and bringing in a new regulation. And one of them obviously is big supporting of electric vehicles.
Let's talk about your project in Chile. I understand you guys are going to do a feasibility study there in 2018. You're sitting on a huge lithium project there. Can you just maybe give us an overview of what you guys see that's going to be going on there in the next 2 or 3 quarters?
Yeah, so 2017 was a big year for us. We came out with our second resource. In total, if you take the inferred component and the measured and indicated, we were roughly about 2.2 million tons with a grade of about 1,100 parts per million. What that means is that we are the highest grade undeveloped lithium brine project in the world. And we recently announced our PEA. So what we were proposing is to potentially do 20,000 tons of lithium carbonate per year. So what we have is a high-grade, long-life asset, and it's the most advanced one in Chile. So we're near-term production potentially. We're working towards a bankable feasibility, which should be out in the 3rd quarter of this year. That'll further drill down on the costs of building the project and production costs as well. At that point in time, there'll be over $50 million invested into this project. So we're very excited about what we're doing. We're well capitalized. Our partners recently completed the last of their earn-in, which was another about $7.5 million US roughly advancement of their final fund. So we have about $10 million in the joint venture, and we're going to continue to move forward. We expect to receive our permits this year, and we're also going to file our environmental study. So we're fast tracking the project as quickly as possible.
Now, did I read that you're about to do a 43-101, or you already have on that particular project?
We've done a couple of 43-101 reports. We did a resource report, which was done in the middle of 2017, and then at the end of 2017 we came out with a preliminary economic assessment, which is called a PEA, and then we'll be heading towards a bankable feasibility or a DFS, definitive feasibility study, sometime in the third quarter of this year, which is pretty much as far as you can take a mining project before building it.
My guest today is Jeremy Poirier. He is the CEO of Lithium Corp. They trade on the OTCQB, ticker symbol BRGRF. They're at 61 cents a share. Hey, discuss, if you could, maybe the upcoming catalyst for Bering Lithium. I know China is interested in your project. And so are you going to factor it out? Are you guys going to bring it in-house and then take it to the market? What's your game plan?
Well, we'll have to see how things play out over the course of the next few months. But typically with an industrial mineral such as lithium, it's not traded like gold, where you have a spot market that you can view each day. You need to get a partner. So, for example, one of the recent lithium mines that we've seen move into production was Orocobre, that's in Argentina, and they had Toyota as one of their partners. So I would think that we would likely bring in some sort of an offtake partner that would help with some sort of an investment, and then maybe backstop part or all of the debt to build the project. So I think that's probably the likely path, or you'd see the project get sold. I don't anticipate that we would, fund the entire project through the market. I think you'd probably likely need a partner, just to, so you have part of the actual sale of your supply spoken for is the likely roadmap that we'd like to use.
Lithium Corp, they trade on the OTCQB, around 61 cents a share. Their ticker symbol is BRGRF. In closing, Jeremy, is there anything that we didn't get a chance to touch upon that you would like to illustrate to the listeners out there?
No, I think we covered the majority of things that I think are important with this story. But yeah, if you're interested in looking at an investment in the lithium sector, we think we're a compelling investment. We're priced relatively attractive in comparison to some of our other peers, and we are advanced. We're not. This isn't early stage. We're not looking to find something. We're in the development stage of the project, and we hope to obviously at some point see this project in production.
If they wanted information, you want to give out your website?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's BRGRF.com.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Hopefully you'll come back in 50 or 60 days and give myself and listeners an update of what's going on with your company.
We'd like that. Thank you very much for your time.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.